Welcome, everybody, to the first inaugural Jive Sports Podcast. I am the humble Brandon Zufeld, and I'm here with my very dear friend, Zach Ketchum.
That's me.
How you doing today, Zach?
Well, a lot better than I was 2 days ago.
Why is that?
It is only 7 a.m., so
Bright and
we'll
early.
see.
We're up. We're after it. I like that
Well,
backdrop you got there.
yeah, it's just some psychedelic sheets for now.
It sets the vibe. It said for now. You got something in the mail. You got something coming.
Possibly. It's a secret.
I love that. I love the mystique. I love the
No, but
wizard behind the curtain.
you and I had a plan to do this Wednesday morning, and at about 12:15 a.m., the smallest storm that we've had knocked down a tree like 2 roads over, and there's like between 20 the estimation was between 20 and 100 people without power, and we were one of them. So the AC went out, which means I'm dying of heat because I'm always hot. And I've gotten used to sleeping with ambient sound over the years. I used to be able to just sleep and pitch black and no sound, but now I have to have sound. And with no power, I don't have my AC running, and my phone was at 18%. So me and Ashley just kind of sat in my car for 3 hours and charged our phones and got out of the heat.
It's been a gauntlet. It's been a gauntlet getting to this point. The fact you curled up in a ball in your car, just sweating like a dog, is probably the funniest thing ever. So I couldn't even get upset about you that you had to reschedule. So we're here now.
And for the 2 or 3 people that are going to watch this, I got to get you. I'm looking at Brandon Zufeld's reaction to me, so I got to get used to looking there or something, so I don't look so stupid.
Yeah, I know. I'm doing it as well. You got to find your checkpoint talker, and that's.
I wish the webcam could be where your face is, but not alter the frame.
If nobody has, we'll look into
alien
it.
Technology.
That is.
There's no way to do that. There's got to be some way. At this point, we put people on the moon in '69, and I can't have put my webcam here.
It actually is insane when you look at the technology, the fact that we put people on the moon with like a TI-84 calculator and we just decided to peak right there. So no, you're going to have to go a little cross-eyed for the actual video viewers, Zachary. This is going to be a podcast about a little bit of everything, is it not, Zach?
Well, it's supposed to be about sports, and as we know, sports are a microcosm of the entire world.
It's actually all we have left. It's all we have left. I really appreciate the hat you have
For
on
now.
That just says sports. It's giving
Go ahead.
It's giving who's the guy who just wore just the NFL Shield hat? Who was that? He went viral like a year. You don't even know. You're so out of tune of pop culture. I'm gonna have to carry.
Dude,
this
I don't. I try to avoid it at all costs. But this hat, this particular one's just red with the sports. That's my paying, homage to my favorite comedian of all time, Norm Macdonald.
Oh, hello, Norm. Really?
Yeah, if you watch his little like internet podcast show, he has the red sports hat, and I was like, that's perfect.
That's kind of a good bit. I kind of love that for the inaugural show. Just having the sports hat, it's going to be iconic. Do you plan on wearing that every show?
Well, I got a red one and a black one,
so we mix it up. We got options.
And then obviously when we have our own merch store and we're selling out every day, we'll probably have some purple and some green and some whatever.
We do like the I saw a purple truck the other day, and I thought of you. Zach.
Well, that's neat.
So, this episode, we're going to focus on 100% completely accurate, cannot be wrong, NFC vibes and predictions.
Really a little unbiased as well.
Incredibly biased, and I think a good amount of bias is healthy. I think if you don't have a hill you're going to die on unreasonably, like what are we doing, right?
Yeah, people are always telling me, Zach, you're way too unbiased. Could you have a little bias, please? You're too objective for me.
You're too impartial. Please, can you pick a side?
Dude, yeah, quit being so comfortable with everything.
A
That's
little
my
bit of
problem.
a little bit of backstory. I am a diehard Philadelphia Eagles fan. This is not recent, even though I am running on a high. Everybody asks. Zach and I are Michigan based. We are Michigan byproducts.
Everybody.
Yeah. And everybody asks, "Hey, how come you're an Eagles fan?" And I thought I was being a contrarian when I was about 7 or 8 years old, and I said I don't want to be a Lions fan. Got out of there early, and I decided to pick a new team, and I guess I was really, really into birds because I had to pick between the Eagles or the Falcons. I remember it was a coin flip, and I said I'm either going to be an Eagles fan or I'm going to be a Falcons fan. And so I decided
I
on the
thought you really
Eagles.
liked Campbell's soup.
Is this a Donovan McNabb
Yeah.
callback? Donovan McNabb's mom?
Yeah.
Isn't that Chunky?
Is it? Aren't they the same thing?
Is Chunky a Campbell's brand?
Hey Jamie, can you get on that? Don't all podcasts get a Jamie? You never listened to Joe Rogan show? Back when was like a decent human being.
I've never once listened
That's
to
like
the
a
Joe.
podcast cliche where like whenever he has a question about something that they're talking about, he's like, "Hey Jamie, can you pull that up?" Who was Donovan McNabb endorsed by Chunky or Campbell, and are they the same? That right now. That's important. It's important for this show as the journalists we are.
That's an absolutely amazing bit, and I'm going to lean into it every single time.
McNabb soup.
You can't just be Googling McNabb soup. It's Chunky. I want to know. I know it was a
But no,
Chunky brand.
Campbell's Chunky. It's both.
Again, that's good information for me to know. I'm going to carry that with
All
me
right.
forever.
The story is you became an Eagles fan because of you were really big into chicken noodle soup.
I grew up pretty fat. I enjoyed my sodium. So I decided to be an Eagles fan because I remember thinking the logo was cool. This is important. It was all about the logo. That was the coin flip. I did not like the Falcons logo. Would you believe it? About a year or two later, what did the Falcons do? They switched to their sick ass new logo, and I was downtrodden. I was thinking about switching, and then I also think they made the playoffs, and they made it pretty far that year. My faith, my resolve was tested that year, and I stayed strong. And in 2017, it paid off. And now we're riding high, as you can see everything right behind me. So the very long-winded, chunky Campbell story of why I'm an Eagles fan. And Zach, what team do you represent?
Man, if that was long winded, man, that's people. What are you going to think about me?
I cannot wait.
Oh, the Giants story. Why I'm a Giants fan?
yes. Tell me the lore.
I had a very similar kind of situation you were in because
It can't be the logo.
it wasn't the logo, but the Giants do have some really sexy uniforms.
They do. They actually have a really, really clean look.
Well, the classic '86. I mean, get out of here. But
what are we doing?
No, I was in a conundrum myself because I was born in San Diego. Didn't start watching football.
Were you really?
Yeah, I didn't start watching football until I moved to Michigan. I was about 9 or 10. And when you get here, it's all Lions all the time. And I'm watching, and this is about 2000, which is kind of leads into the story a little bit because this is the first time I'm kind of watching sports all the time because whatever. In California, I was like outside every day because it was like good weather and stuff. And here, around football season, it starts changing.
It does.
But now I'm getting into video games. I'm playing like NFL Game Day, and I'm playing 2K, and I'm playing Madden, and I'm looking at caliber of teams, and I guess the Lions in 2000 weren't so underrated because I think in '99,
I think they did well, right?
I want to say because Barry, I think, was still there in '99, and so they might have been still riding off of his Hall of Fame-ness, and okay, they're not terrible because they might have made the playoffs in '99. I don't know. Who cares? But but the Lions were on TV like all the time, right? Because it's local, and they were no fun to watch. And I as a child already understood like you have to like what that doesn't make any sense. You have to be a fan of the team closest to you. Why? But also, like, the team itself is not. For people that don't know this, the Detroit Lions are not made up of people exclusively from Michigan. There might be like a couple guys on the roster from Michigan, but they're from everywhere, and they can come and go. And so this is like a business decision to me at 10 years old.
I love the fact I just love the visual of you like 9, 10 years old, like finally
Doing the
like
calculations and
you're a few years into just actual consciousness and figuring out life, and it's like you're doing the math on like locality and sports teams and all that kind of stuff. It's the funniest
yeah.
visual. So then
If I went a little further, I'd get into some sports string theory.
we'll
But
get there.
so
Not first episode, not first episode.
right. Uh, so I'm getting familiar with the sports world, and the Giants were, they're like a
From East Rutherford, not New York.
they're a historically significant franchise. There was a really great movie made about them called The Little Giants, which is an all-time classic. And
Never seen
then
that.
I I grew up listening to uncles and my dad a lot, and they would always talk about Lawrence Taylor and Harry Carson and like how badass those guys were. And I was like, I want to be that guy. And at the time, Michael Strahan was the man.
you wanted to be Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
How'd that work out for you? Where are you at on the Lawrence Taylor scale right now?
If there's a Lawrence Taylor scale, I'm underneath it somewhere physically.
You got to have a dream.
Yeah, I mean, at eight, I didn't know I was gonna be a very brutally average white idiot. I thought the sky's the limit at 8, but at 2000, I'm looking for a team, and the coin flip that I had was between the Jaguars and the Giants.
Little expansion team, little fun. Jaguars, they were sexy back then.
Yeah, dude, I liked
big cats. That's cool. Very big, and like you're a kid.
But they were also really good in the game, and in the games, because I think they had just come off like a playoff run. But anyways, the first kind of NFL playoffs that I watched the New York Giants beat the Vikings like 40-something-0, but then they got smacked in the Super Bowl by the Ravens. But so that was my first kind of like playoff thing, was like, man, the Giants are really good, until like 2 weeks later. But I'm still kind of on the fence, and I kept also hearing about this guy named Peyton Manning, right? Because he was like the big
little guy named Peyton Manning.
This guy named Peyton Manning, and my dad would talk about, well, he had a dad that played quarterback too, and he played for the Saints, and he was pretty good, but he was
Boomers love talking about the Manning family. You just go to a cookout, you just throw in Manning, they'll go forever.
I think they respected Archie because my dad would always say, the team sucked around him. He was running for his life all the time, and now here's his son, and he's the man. And I'm watching ESPN every day, and I start hearing about this guy named Eli Manning. Okay, so my fandom for the Giants was solidified when Eli Manning went to the New York Giants.
Really?
Because I already wanted to be Michael Strahan. I kept hearing about how cool this Peyton Manning guy was, but the Colts weren't appealing to me. And
very, very vanilla team. Very vanilla.
And New York is just a big market. I mean, I don't understand that as a child conceptually, but it makes sense because you'd always hear about them, and that's why. And so a little bit of like programming, I think, went into it as well, because I was kind of programmed because you got to like the big market teams, Dallas and New York, and then you got. I mean, Green Bay is not a big market, but in football they are because of their history. San Francisco 49ers, obviously, in California. So
the garbage team. We'll get into that.
I like them. I like them.
We'll get into that. So that's the backstory. I love that. East Rutherford Football Giants, Philadelphia Eagles. You had a little bit of early success. I'm riding the high. let's get into
a little bit of early success.
let's get into we'll get into it. We'll get into it. We got so what if we got about 50 to 60 years to banter, and we can talk
50
about
to 60?
50 to 60 years.
There's no way I'm living that long.
Can you guarantee me 6 months? Can you give me that?
I think I got that.
We'll land somewhere in the middle. We're going to go over the completely accurate, where this all started is completely accurate, cannot be wrong at all. Objective, not subjective, not opinion based. These are pure facts. NFC vibes and predictions. Where would you like to start off, Zach? Do you want to start off? Do you just want to get right into it and go into the NFC East, or where are you comfortable with? I want to take this at your speed.
I don't think it matters. So I mean, we have 7 playoff teams now. So
is it 7 now?
Yeah. See, that's why I wanted you to kind of look at this stuff before we got on here.
I would never. We're not. Oh, you want to do like a playoff bracket? I just want to go over the division.
I'm not going to tell you who's going to be what seed. I'm just going to tell you who I think is going to get there.
Okay, that's kind of what we're leaning into. We don't need to do like an Associated Press poll.
No, but for the people, the 2 or 3 that are going to listen to the first episode, I'm probably more excited to hear what Brandon has to say than you guys are probably going to be, because for whatever reason, he's made his football ideas more harder to access than Area 51. He doesn't tell you anything because, in our fantasy league, I'll send him, hey, what do you think about this trade? And I either get a hate or love, but no counter and no real evaluation on what he's why he hates something. So this is going to be good for me because I'm going to get to learn what he thinks. Maybe if he's telling the truth.
Why are you so mad?
Because, man, it's crazy. We're in a fantasy football league, and I'll send you a trade and get offer. But the one thing he will say is I hate that. He will give you a little tidbit, and he'll be like, well, this guy is old. And I'm like, well, counter with something you like then, but there's nothing. Add more then. You're in sales, so is there any bartering when you're doing your thing at work?
Can I breathe? Can I defend myself for a second?
Every time I look at you, you're laughing, so I'm like, I'll just keep going then.
It's actually it's actually a hilarious dynamic because you have you're like my 5-year-old. Okay, you're like my 5-year-old. I mean this complimentary. You have opinions and you have feelings, and when you harness that, it's big. It's it's the world, dramatic. Right? It's very dramatic. And I understand that, yes, your opinion on the NFC East and this football trade, and you really want Michael Penix. I understand in the moment that's the world to you, and I need to almost settle you down. It's a good yin and yang because, yes, I hate your fantasy football trades, and I have nothing else to report back on. If I like it, I hit accept. If I don't, I hit decline, and I never think about it again.
Well, here's the thing is, as the commissioner, I feel like I have a duty to try to help make everyone a little more competitive. And when I look at your team, it makes me sick.
I'm
trying to help you.
I don't think you are. I think it comes across as malicious when somebody is like, hey, this is a competitive thing. It's you versus me, but I want to help you. So accept this trade. It's a red flag.
I'm trying to create a positive environment in my league. So I care more about your happiness than mine.
You've never been positive a day in your life.
Yes, very. All right, go ahead. Where were we at? You were going to say something about what you think.
Let's just jump right into it. Out of the pan, into the fire. The NFC East. Without a doubt. The most fun, I think, division in football. If you're not an NFC East fan, you got to get aboard because the cross. I'm actually not even a toxic NFC East fan, so I'm gonna lead with this. I actually like the Giants. I think the Giants are scrappy. I think they're fun. I do hate the Cowboys. I also really do like the Commanders, and obviously the Philadelphia Eagles. I think last year they fielded probably the best team that we've seen in 25 years. And they got to shit stomp the Chiefs, and it was the most relaxing day of football I ever had. I do think that the Eagles are going to win the NFC East. I think they're going to be the first repeat division winner since, what is it, like early aughts, right, Zach?
Yeah,
It's been a minute.
That's always been like the theme of the East, is that the same winner never wins. The following year, there's no repeat winners.
Right. And I do think barring some sort of, and this is not going, what I don't want this to become, Zach, is an injury podcast. We can always talk about if Saquon breaks his leg tomorrow, right? Barring injuries, I think the Eagles take the division pretty handily. I also do really, really like the Commanders. I think I really like Jane Daniels. I wish we were around for the draft because I was really, really high in Jane Daniels. This is not revisionist history. I was always high on Jane Daniels. I love the guy. I think he's scrappy. I think the front office may be doing him a little bit of a disservice, and I hope they can build a team around him, especially with the whole Scary Terry situation that they're running into, but just pay the guy, right? And I also think they do have an underrated
He's
young
like 29 or something, isn't he?
Who, Scary Terry? This is a really fun
Well, they
game.
wasted most of his career. Yeah, he's 29. He'll be turning 30.
Is he really that old?
He'll be turning 30 like week 2 of the season.
That's insane. I did not even know that.
He's been good for a while, and they finally helped him. So now you're like in a Kobe situation where you're not paying him for what he's probably going to do. You're going to pay him for what he did. So he's probably up here, and they're probably like here.
But isn't that, like, I understand it's a business, but don't you feel bad for the guy? Like, he's stuck through, like, he's out there fighting for his life, catching passes from Taylor Heineke, But it's like, but also, like, yeah, like, you've reached the logical cliff. Like, not too many wide receivers get better at 30.
Right.
So that's a really, really tough situation. I also do think the Commanders have again, underrated young defense, right? I think the Commanders are probably going to take second in the division. The Cowboys are who the Cowboys are. I do not like the Cowboys. I do not respect the Cowboys. The Cowboys running back room looks like my fantasy league right now. I think
your fantasy team.
My fantasy team. You're right. They have Miles Sanders, the corpse of Miles Sanders, and Jaden Blue, who I think was a second or third rounder, maybe. They've not really.
That high, did he?
Did he not? How do you feel? You look it up.
You go ahead, and I'll.
Yeah. The Cowboys are going to do what they're going to do.
Fifth rounder.
No shit. Okay. I am a Dak apologist. I think Dak is better than what a lot of people say he is. I don't think he's going to lose you games, but he's also not going to win you the big games. And obviously, Micah Parsons is a ton of fun. They're dealing with that whole contract trade situation. They're going to pay him like the Saturday before kickoff. Jerry Jones just wants the free press. I totally understand that. CeeDee Lamb, I love CeeDee Lamb. The Cowboys, do they make the playoffs? Do you think they make the playoffs this year, Zach? No. They're right there. They're like, when I'm looking at this, they're like one of the fringe teams. If they do make the playoffs, they're out. They're out first weekend. We know wild card exit, tale as old as time, Sisyphus pushing the boulder up the hill. We repeat next season. That's where the Cowboys are going to be. And then the Giants. I like the Giants, but this season is like, you're not going to do anything this season. Like, the floor for the Giants is so hilarious. Like,
when we were planning on doing the AFC first, and we kind of figured this would be a much better starting, way to start the show, because we know more about this division because we grew up in it. But there were a couple. So I looked up NFL, CBS, and ESPN power rankings to compare ours to theirs.
And because we're right, and they can be wrong. That's
right,
okay.
Because there's some things they get obviously wrong. And there was actually a couple of these different power rankings that had the Giants, like, one of them had them last.
Like, ever?
Like
30, in the league?
32nd.
No shit.
But they're always near the bottom, like 28th or worst.
A lot of question marks.
Here's the thing. I agree with you. I think the Eagles are the only team that make the playoffs from the East, and they're going to win it pretty, soundly. The Commanders give me some concern because I also really like Jaden Daniels coming out. We knew that Caleb Williams was going to go first, and I said because I argue with guys at work about this sometimes.
You argue?
What? Yeah, a couple of them got pretty heated. But I like Jaden Daniels, and I was starting to get into Drake May a little bit because he went to North Carolina. You don't hear a lot about North Carolina football. I mean, you do now because Bill Belichick's girlfriend, but
That's great. That's crazy.
but you don't hear about their team actually.
Right.
And so I was only kind of like hearing things about Drake May, but I kind of like Drake May. But Jaden Daniels was like, if I can't get Caleb, I want him. But the problem with Jaden Daniels is he's very thin looking.
Wiry, very. Every single time he takes a hit, I'm like, he's done. He's Devontae Smith vibes almost. Like he's super slim.
He's very thin, and so I mean, I don't want to steal a take from the big homie Nick Wright because I like Nick Wright, and he was saying this as well. But he said, like his size in the NFL is going to be tough because you're going against 300-pound freaks. And what happened last year? He took a hit and he had some fractured or broken ribs. And unless he can put on, 20 pounds or something, 20 pounds of muscle, then it's going to be, they need to protect him.
It's going to be, it's going to be tough.
And so it's going to be ride or die on him. And there's always the thing of the sophomore slump. You have to, I don't believe in Deebo Samuel either, because he had one good year 4 years ago, and he's been kind of living off that ever since.
I love that you brought this up. I don't know what people see in Deebo Samuel. Like I just don't get it. I don't get it. Somebody make it make sense. Yeah, not anymore.
Because 4 years ago he had like 1,000 receiving and like 500 rushing or something like that, and that's really cool. But then I don't know if the 49ers paid him or they let him walk so they didn't have to pay him. But I don't think the last 3 years he's broke 1,000 receiving, and I think combined, if you have his the few rushing he'll get with the couple of receptions he gets, he may have 1,000 total yards from scrimmage. But people still talk about him as if he was that guy 4 years ago.
Like a perennial All-Pro,
Yeah, he's good for 1,500 yards. No, he's not.
Like people have to game plan around him, and no, that's not going to happen. And also, I understand the perspective of this as a man who's sitting in his basement right now and is not in prime physical shape, but he looks like shit. Like, did you see like the training? Like, he looks like absolute trash.
But just for the record, I was shitting on Doug for being high on Deebo in our group chat, so there's probably receipts there. I was saying this before that video came out that I don't understand. And he'll try to trade him. I'm like, I don't want him. So the Commanders, I think, are going to have a little bit of a slump, and I would expect. You said you don't want to talk about injuries, but I do think I'm predicting he's going to miss some games this year. But I do love Mike Sarin still from the Michigan man.
Love him.
He's my favorite defensive player in the league. And once again,
really,
he's just a gamer. He's a baller. I loved watching him at Michigan. And in that, we'll get to the Lions, but in that Washington Lions playoff game, I predicted a Mike interception, and he got 2. So he always comes through for me. So
I love that.
Commanders, I'm down on. Cowboys, there's no question that they're not gonna be as good. Maybe the offense is a little better because George Pickens kind of opens things up, but I think their defense that was already bad got worse.
I love George Pickens, by the way.
Their running game, like you said, is suspicious, and that's the same
in a word.
And that's the problem they had last year. They couldn't run the ball, and they couldn't play defense, and they didn't do anything to really help those problems.
Very one-dimensional.
And on top of that, their owner is coming out saying that this is a soap opera. I am just here fucking with you people. Are we cussing on this show? Are we trying to get sponsors?
We can
So
cuss.
yeah, Jerry Jones, he makes it harder for everybody down there.
Everybody.
So from that perspective, I feel for the players and the coaches, but I don't care. I think their fans are stupid, and I don't think they're going to be good. So my Giants, it's tough because as a fan, I want them to be good, but I feel like the process of getting good nowadays is you got to be good through the draft. You got to get the young quarterback and have the pieces around him already. So I think we're a couple pieces short to where if Jackson Dart is who we hope he is, he can take the keys and go. The line suspicious. The running back situation's a little iffy. I would like to see people talk about like the best thing with the Giants can be their pass rush because we have 4 guys. Well, back in the mid to late 2000s, that pass rush that was like breaking sack records or whatever it was. There was like a 5 or 6 guy rotation, so I'd like to see people talk about maybe trading Kayvon. I'd like to see them find a way to keep both Kayvon and Abdul, and possibly try to find some gem out there while you do have a rookie quarterback to add some depth so they can get off the field and get a breather. But I think they're a couple pieces short. And if they're the thing with the Giants too is they always find a way to be in the running for like a 1 or 2 pick and then win 2 games at the end
in garbage time. Yeah, 100%.
And I'd rather them not do that. So do I believe in Russell Wilson? Not really. Do I love Jameis Winston? Yes. I wish they just cut Russ and let Jameis go.
At least have fun with it, right? Like at least have fun
that'd be
with
exciting.
it.
But so the Giants, I would think, are probably going to be at the bottom. I go, Giants, Cowboys, Washington, Eagles. So that's an easy division. That's going to be probably the easiest division to determine.
Before we move on, you ready for a hot take? Ready for a good prediction? Giants might have the best defensive line in football.
Yeah,
like
I think their secondary is extremely underrated, and it's so freaking young.
Really? Who's their
Well, I love Tyler Nubin and Drew Phillips, and
these seem like Madden generated names, but that's okay.
No,
you know the Giants better than I. So
they got these guys last year. Javon Holland, I just saw they have him. I've seen these, they're releasing the Madden ratings, and they have him kind of like as a top 10 or 12 safety. Deontay Banks, he's had some issues, but the talent's been there. He's just had some. We'll see, but I like the secondary a lot.
Speaking of Madden ratings, did you see that the Chargers and their social media team that remains undefeated released a hype video for their long snapper?
Well, that's a very important position. So
the long snap, they have the highest rated long snapper in Madden, an 81 overall, and they posted like a 1.5-minute hype video. It's pretty electric. Long snapper. If I could do it all over again, I would just be a long snapper, right?
I was a long snapper.
You were a long snapper. And you would have went pro if it wasn't for your bum knee. I find that hard to believe, and I don't know if I trust you in that aspect.
I put my long snapper dreams aside to play chess. NFC North, go ahead.
Nobody's ever said that collection of words together. Do you feel good that you just made a brand new sentence? I put my long snapper dreams aside to pursue chess. Nobody has ever said those words in that order. You want to go into the NFC North?
This is where it gets good.
Or
should we save it to the end?
We save it to the end. Okay. We save it to the end. Otherwise, people are just going to
South. There's another really bad division.
You mean the most forgettable division in football? I actually forgot the Saints were a thing until I'm looking at my screen right now. I literally forgot the Saints existed. In the NFC South, we have the Buccaneers, who led the division last year. You have the Falcons, you have the Panthers, and you do have the Saints. I think Bucs win this. I think Bucs win it. I think the Bucs win it. I'm a Baker Mayfield believer. If you want to talk about game, knowing ball, just first guy in, last guy out.
I think I gotta go.
Do you not?
I hate Baker Mayfield.
I do.
Go ahead.
Why? No, you can't just walk in a room and say, I hate that guy and not extrapolate on it. Why?
I just don't like him.
Do you not once a week watch where he like you remember when he started for the Rams? Like he like flew on a plane like 48 hours ago, and then he started for the Rams and led like a comeback drive, and then that landed him the starting job. Like how can you not? He got ran out of Cleveland for Groper Cleveland, and then he found a
Yeah.
home and he carried them to the playoffs. How can you not like the dude?
His attitude
That's pot calling the kettle black, but okay. I think
and his stupid all the commercials he had before he did anything, and I don't know.
we're unpacking some sort of trauma, and I want to help you through it. But I do enjoy
I just don't
Baker
like
May.
him.
The
Sometimes
Buccaneer.
you got to have a reason to not like something.
Yes, I think so.
Sometimes
Almost by
I look at people, I'm like, I don't know.
you can't just be looking at people. That's an insane take, and we'll get into we'll unpack that over the coming 6 months.
But yeah, this is gonna happen quite a bit.
The Buccaneers win the division. The only person I think I would probably put up there, I do, calling back to my early years, I do think the Falcons are going to be really good. I think the Falcons are going the Falcons. I'm spoiling. I'm about to talk about their quarterback. I think the Falcons are going to be really good. I think Michael Penix, even though he's super old as like a rookie, I think he's really good. I think he flashed a little bit last season. I think he's going to ball out. I think Drake London is one of the most underrated receivers in the league. I absolutely love Drake London. I pray to the football gods every night that eventually Kyle Pitts is going to do something. He's still super young. He still has the intangibles. I don't think it's going to happen with the game plan. And Bijan Robinson's probably one of the most fun players in the league. I watch that top down when they do like the top down, like the Stabilicam, and they show his cuts or whatnot. That's a really, really fun. That's really fun offense. And
he's a freak.
He's a freak, right? And they did invest quite a bit into defense as well, especially on the line, right? I think they made some questionable draft moves to move up and to be able to get their players, but you almost got to respect that. I think the Falcons, if anybody's going to be like a dark horse or so to take the division, I think the Falcons would be up there. Also, I do like the Panthers. Coming out, I was Bryce Young hater. I'm taller than him. I'm bigger than him. You cannot play quarterback at that level with that stature. It just doesn't work. You can't see over the line. It just doesn't work. And then he came out and he was garbage. And then he got benched, but he's also like a really nice guy. And he got benched, and I think he looked really, really good at the end of last season. And it's scrappy. I love the story. If he could come out and ball out, that'd be a lot of fun. So, and then the Saints, who's their quarterback? Is it Spencer Rattler versus Tyler Shuck? Is that who we're? I need nothing else. I need nothing else for the Saints. The Saints are nothing. If whoever, CBS or ESPN, whoever put the Giants below the Saints, they need a stern talking to, because I think Saints are going to be the worst team in football, and I don't think it's close.
Are you good?
Yes, I'm good. Now you give me your feelings.
Well, you're wrong. I think.
I think
the Falcons are far and away the best team in that division.
Really?
Because they went heavy defense in the offseason, because their offense is already kind of good.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they can get Kyle Pitts involved, because he's also a freak, and Michael Penix might be the best. We don't know for sure, but he might be the best quarterback in the division, because I'm not high on Baker Mayfield. People keep, Baker supporters will post, he's had the most touchdowns in the last 2 years. Yeah, so it's not hard to throw to Mike Evans, and
could get Mike Evans to 1,000 yards.
and then the Cohen offense was basically a lot of dumps and screens to running backs, which we both could do that too, because they're about 10-yard passes to usually wide open people, and a lot of it's like that. And so I think there's really not much to say about the division. I keep hearing from different people that they also are kind of like the Panthers are growing on them. Besides McMillan, who they got in the draft, and Bryce and Adam Thielen.
The corpse of Adam Thielen, who is still just going to catch, by the way, underrated. But
I'm
they
just,
have
like, I don't expect him to be good, but I'm saying, like, I'm trying to think of names of players on the team, and it's hard to do.
you're forgetting about the single best accent in all of professional sports, Xavier Leggett.
And I've been kind of high on him just because he's big and fast, but he's also been kind of underwhelming thus far. It's early into his career.
Have you
It's
heard
only
him
like,
talk?
I don't know. I don't think so. Why is he
It,
crazy?
he has the single greatest voice I've ever heard. So I would take him in every single redraft league right now.
I'd like to have him in on my team.
What about
But,
Jalen Coker?
what about him?
He's fun. He's scrappy.
Okay, I don't. All these players.
Who's their running back?
Chuba.
It is Chuba Hubbard because Jonathan Brooks dies
And
every
then,
every April.
Who was the Cowboys? Rico Dowdle.
Rico Dowdle's on the Panthers.
And then the famous Jonathan Brooks, who's really famous in this league because there's been some suspicious trades involving him. But yeah, so there's nothing about them that I care about at all. I do like the Bryce story being, like, benched and being like the worst guy ever, which really wasn't his fault, because the pressure on him was built on him because the Panthers gave up so much to get him, and he's not responsible for that. But I don't like anything about him. So, and I'm with you on the Saints.
You don't like. You don't like anything.
I'm a football junkie, and if I can only name like 5 or 6 players on your team, then that's not good. I don't know. For the Saints, it's the same thing. They don't have a quarterback, an aging running back, a wide receiver core that is brought.
Wait, hang on. An aging running back? Do not try to deal me Kamara every day.
I was trying to get
in our dynasty league.
And Neal too. So
who's Neal?
Who's Devin Neal? Superstar.
No shot, dude.
Devin Neal's going to be a superstar
in the Big 12, bro. There's no way, man.
But anyways, their defense, who cares? And their wide receivers are the most like injury prone, like old young core
Who's
ever.
Catching? Olave and Rashid Shaheed? Is that who we have?
Olave is coming back from like his 3rd concussion and some other thing. Rashid tore his ACL. They brought in Brandon Cooks.
No, not Brandon Cooks.
Who
could you imagine? Your football and sports is like an escape from reality, and it's like you work all week, and it's like, hey, you're gonna load up your Sunday and you're gonna watch Rashid Shaheed. Like, is that what you're doing? That's tough, man. I feel for the Saints fans.
They're tough. But so long story short, I always make a short story long. But the Falcons are going to win that division, and the Buccaneers. I'm not a Baker guy.
It's okay. You'll get there.
I think losing Cohen's going to be so. When we get to the Lions, you're going to find out how much I really like coordinators, and how much they can help or hurt a quarterback. And I think he's got a problem.
I appreciate your coordinator talk, and there's a team in a division that we will talk about coming up that I think people are downplaying the importance coordinators have on the game. So,
that's exactly where we're gonna go.
Exactly.
So Falcons. So far we have in the 2 divisions. I have Eagles, Falcons.
I really appreciate how you're approaching this 4-team playoff hunt. Like, you just have no faith in
that
any
means
of the
others. West and the North are going to have multiple teams, but the first 2 are they are what they are.
Let's go into the NFC West. The NFC West, I don't think about too often. I don't think about them as a whole. I think about individual players. I think about different individual teams. I don't think about like the division as a whole. Like, I'm looking at it right now, and It just seems off to me this year for some reason, and I'm not quite sure why. So last year, it looks like the Rams took the division at 10-7, and then there was the Seahawks that also ended 10-7, and then the Cardinals 8-9, and then the 49ers, the worst, most garbage team in all of professional sports, 6-11.
What's the beef with the 49ers?
They're not good people. I do not respect them. It just
How
Eagles
so?
and because we blew up Brock Purdy's little baby bitch arm, and then they wanted to complain about it for the rest of the season. I went to the Eagles 49ers game the year after we bounced them out of the playoffs when it was supposed to be their year and that kind of stuff. So I go to an Eagles game every single year, and their fans, if people want to say Eagles fans are toxic, I do think 49ers fans actually take the cake. They deserve nothing good in this life. So I do not like the
use one
49ers.
of the phrases that the kids use these days. Who hurt you, bro?
The 49ers did literally in that game. We had it just Deebo Samuel actually went all over us. If he I wake up at 2 a.m. in a cold sweat thinking about Deebo Samuel catching a pass over the middle of the field and getting 29 yards after catch. I don't like the 49ers. I do like Brock Purdy. Ricky Pearsall is I love him. CMC's ankles don't work. He has dual Achilles tendonitis. Anybody out if Zach, you texted me and you're like, "Hey man, I got the prognosis. I have double Achilles tendonitis," I'd be like, "We're gonna get through this, man. We'll start a GoFundMe.
Can you spare me one of yours? I need a transplant."
And I'm like, the GoFundMe's going. We're gonna get through this, Zach. You have a village behind you. But instead, somehow, there's a professional football player that both of his ankles don't work. And people still are taking him first overall in a redraft PPR leagues, and I don't understand that. The Rams, Matt Stafford's back doesn't work. Matt Stafford, I don't like. I think they're weakened at Bernie's him he's in street clothes and they're just shopping him around. I do really like Matt Stafford. I think he's gonna have a long rest of his life with how he feels. Did you see that? Did you see that he needed what's that thing called? He needed what's that shot in the back? When he had
epidural.
The thing. Yes, he had an epidural. Do you know what an epidural is?
I've heard I've heard about it being used during pregnancies. I'm assuming it's some type of pain relief.
Epidurals are used during childbirth, and they numb the entire lower half of your body, so you can push a human being out of your body. The needle's like this big. They shoot it right into your back, and you can feel the injection point of the epidural when it rains 20 years later.
Shout out women.
First of all, shout out women. Absolutely incredible. They do not get enough credit. But this guy is going to go out there and get chased down by 300-pound linemen. This guy literally he needed to get numbed.
He retires
before the season, during the season,
probably.
That was probably. That was, you can't just say you can't.
I'm not sure, but I think it's gonna happen.
What are you playing with over there?
Trash. That was the whole thing with me at first wanting to hold the microphones because I have idle hands. If I don't have something in my hands, I'm picking at nails or something. So I'm not holding the microphone because you made it obvious to me when we met 2 Wednesdays ago or whatever that if I move the mic around, you're not picking it up. So I was like, I'll use the boom, figure out what to do with these. All right, go ahead. But I think Stafford is going to retire at
some point this season.
In the next 2.5 months, or they might put him on IR or the bench and be end of the season. He's had multiple back fractures. He's had a spinal contusion, whatever the surgery he had to fix whatever was going on then. And if you're Matt Stafford and you've made so much freaking money, you got your ring, wouldn't you start thinking the next 30 years you're going to have pain. There's no way around it when you have back problems.
No, it just happens.
But I want to limit that as much as I can. So why am I playing the worst possible game for it. And I'm sure his wife's in his ear like, you don't need to do this anymore. And it's probably seeping in, especially now that they keep saying he's going to practice and he doesn't, and we're going to try again Saturday, and they keep putting it off. And I think they're eventually going to get to the point where it's like, all right, this is actually not worth it. And actually, for the betterment of the team moving forward, it's better to install Garoppolo now, get him the reps, get him the snaps, let him take over, because I am a liability. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I forgot about Jimmy G. And with this, we already said shout out women. We don't have to.
I didn't forget about him.
We don't have to unpack the Kelly Stafford talk just yet. It's a little early for that. But yes, she's probably in his ear, being like, "Hey, how about you don't go out there and get turned to dust every Sunday?"
Yeah, we have kids and stuff, and they probably want to play football in the backyard with you too. So let's
make sure that you can move properly for the rest of your life. And then the Seahawks and Cardinals. I don't think I like the Seahawks. I don't think I like them at all. I've not thought about them, but just like this is just off the rip. Like I'm not like Sam Darnold. Is Sam Darnold? Is he the guy? I don't think he's the guy. I think Kevin O'Connell. I think Sam Darnold needs to send an edible arrangement to Kevin O'Connell every single day for the rest of his life because he got him the bag. And their receiver, like who are their JSN? I guess I do like JSN. It's just a very it's a very underwhelming team. Torrey Horton?
I like him a lot.
What I feel like isn't he from like 2006? Like
what? That's Torrey Holt. Horton, here's a who.
I'm sorry.
All right, go ahead. I should let you get through, and then I'll bring up the players I like after you're done.
And then the Cardinals. We just get to say the thing that everybody who has a fucking football podcast talks about. Kyler Murray runs like a toddler, who stole his parents' phone. I actually really like Kyler, but I've been told constantly and consistently that he's not good, and you can only be told things so long until you start believing it. So maybe he's not good. And then Marvin Harrison Jr. I really like him. I know he had an underwhelming season. I do like him. If I had to boom right off the rip, I don't know how to do this division. I don't like any of them. After unpacking it, I don't like anybody in this division. So help me through this.
So I may have backed myself into a corner because
you would never.
I'm cheating a little bit by looking at their schedule, and they actually have the NFC West. It drew like, well, I'm sorry. Never mind. So, well, I was looking at the different schedules.
This is the hard. Hang on. This is the hard hitting analysis that people tune in for. Is you saying, "Hey, 1 second," and then
I want to be accurate.
You have never been accurate a day in your life.
Well, this show wasn't planned for.
That's the best.
For people that aren't, this literally was not planned for. So what you're hearing is just two idiots pretending to know something. So I like the Seahawks as a playoff team.
Really?
I like the 49ers as a playoff team, potentially.
No, you can't. No, you can't do that.
The one team I know for sure that won't get in for that division is the Cardinals. And
really?
I don't with Kyler Murray.
Do you have reason, or is it just like a vibe gut check?
I think I don't believe in Kyler Murray either. He's very exciting to watch. I think he's very exciting. He's got a crazy arm and crazy arm strength for his size. But he's so streaky. You never know what to expect. Marvin Harrison was very underwhelming, but part of that can be due to obviously the quarterback he has. Mm-hmm. And so the reason why I was confused a second ago about divisions and stuff is because I was looking at the Rams schedule, and I was looking at like, oh, they got Baltimore, so that must mean they got, like the AFC North, but they don't. It's just Baltimore. It's the only team from that division they have.
I still don't know how this schedule works, but
so then when I looked at the Cardinals schedule and I didn't see any of those, I was expecting to say they have a really tough schedule, but they don't have as tough a schedule as I thought. So that's why I'm more likely to say that they're going to have multiple teams in the playoffs. So I like the Seahawks because I think their defense is good. I think their offense got better, and Sam Darnold.
How did their offense get better? How did their offense get better?
Well, they got Cooper Kupp. They got Torrey Horton. Torrey Horton. The Torrey Horton thing. I get to talk about that now. I'm watching the NFL draft.
I'm gonna lose it. You can. Who's this Torrey Horton?
That's from well, he's just a really good player. Like, I think he went to. See, this is why I wish I would have looked. I think he went to like TCU or some smaller school, but very fast.
TCU made the okay. He's fast.
You want to get into that? The worst team ever to make the fucking college football championship, and what happened to them there?
I'm Googling Torrey Horton right now.
So, but anyways, I'm watching the NFL draft, and I'm kind of like cool with Tracy or Tyrone Tracy, and the running back I liked least, just because of looking at him, is Cam Scatabo. And Torrey Horton, and I'm like, man, you know what would be really cool? To have Torrey Horton and Malik Neighbors and Darius Slayton and Wan'Dale Robinson, because they're all like fast and it'd be fun to watch. And the pick comes in and it's Cam Scatabo. So wasn't really happy about that, which is why Torrey Horton, the man.
Do you know what happens when you
he went to Colorado State?
No, I know. No, so when you search Torrey Horton and Google Gemini, because AI is taking over our lives and eventually we'll all just be in think tanks like the Matrix and we'll just be batteries for ChatGPT talking to itself endlessly until the end of time. But this is not that kind of podcast. This is a football podcast. When you Google it, it says he played for the Nevada Wolfpack, the prestigious Nevada Wolfpack in Colorado State. And then an injury in the Mountain West opener against San Jose State ended his college career early. And this is your guy?
I like him a lot. In the preseason game,
I'm gonna need
3 receptions, 31 yards, and a touchdown.
In the preseason? And the Lions also went 4-0 and then ended up going 0-16 and fielded one of the worst teams we've ever seen. That's okay.
Very, very reliable hands. Anyways, Colorado State, small school.
Jamie, can we install a Torrey Horton watch? But every Sunday,
man. All right, yeah, let's do it. Jamie, get on that.
Jamie, put it on.
So this is what we're gonna have to do is start doing little friendly wagers on players and teams and things like that. And then if we have some guests come in and rotate, do some stuff with them. And then when we figure out who won the bet, have them back on and do whatever we do, the humiliation that we agreed upon.
I want a Kyle Pitts versus Torrey Horton competition. I want Kyle Pitts, who was supposed to be the guy that's done nothing, and I want Torrey Horton, who is not the guy that you expect him to do everything. Pound for pound, that seems like a stupid matchup that we can keep our thumb on.
I didn't say to do everything. So here's the thing: I like size and speed.
Dear diary.
He's 6'2" and he's fast, so that's why I liked him.
Really?
But so I like the Seahawks. You brought up CMC and his ankles that don't work. But he went
as a running back.
Well, listen, he went to Germany last year for 2 months, and he got some stem cell shit done to him. And every time I hear,
thank you for making my point.
No, every time I hear stem cells,
I think about South Park.
No, I think South Park. All of a sudden, they're better than they were. Somehow, stem cells fix everything. It is the cure to everything. Okay, so I think
we need some sort of scientific disclaimer that these opinions are you can't just be saying
stem cells fix everything.
If my running back. If I heard that Saquon Barkley's legs were hurting, so he had to fly to Germany to find the one scientist on Earth that will fix him, I am so out on this dude. It's not. Listen to yourself. Just listen to yourself. You sound crazy. How do you think of the three people listening to this? If one's a Saints fan, how do you think they feel that we talked more about stem cells and Torrey Horton than we did their entire team?
Good point. But listen, in 5 years, they're going to be doing a documentary about how the stem cell procedure that CMC had
And
changed the world. All right. So I like Rick. I like Ricky Pearsall.
you like Ricky Pearson?
What? I'm going through the 49ers. I like him. I think he's going to be.
He got shot. Your playoff team is a dude who got shot in stem cells.
I think they're a playoff team. And I think the Rams are a playoff team, whether or not Stafford or Garoppolo is a quarterback. I'll leave it short and sweet with them. The best coach team in the division. Well, it's tough because McVay and Shanahan are both really good. McVay has obviously won a Super Bowl and been to 2, so he's got the pedigree there. He just produces good football teams.
Yeah. He finds ways to win.
So, Rams, Seahawks, Niners, NFC West.
Wow. Don't have to.
So I'm at 5. So that means 2 teams from the North.
Is there a division that we still need to talk about?
The North.
It would be the NFC North, right?
Yep.
Nobody has any strong opinions about these teams, I assume. We've gotten to the point. We have gotten to the point.
What's funny is we wanted to run for like maybe an hour. We're at an hour now, and what I want to say about the Lions could last 20 minutes.
And it just might. My laptop's I haven't plugged in, and it knows that it has to survive through this because this is what the world needs right now. In a time of healing and stem cell research, people need to talk about the NFC North. They comfortably hand the baton over to you. How do you feel about the NFC North?
Chicago and the Packers are going to the playoffs.
Chicago, why? Why are they making it? Why is the Vikings with probably the best young defense in the league and aspiring national championship winner quarterback, and the Lions, who were a buzzsaw last year, why are they not making it in the Bears and Packers?
I think the Minnesota Vikings defense had a great year last year. They're kind of like the talk of the NFL for quite a while. Like the first 10 weeks, probably more than anybody else, because they were a team that nobody expected to be good, but were really good. I'm a Michigan man.
Me too. Go Blue.
I'm sure Michigan will come up throughout over the course of this podcast.
We did win a national championship. So.
JJ McCarthy, a little worried about him coming off the injury. Jordan Addison's not going to play this year, so very reliant on JJ. Hawkinson's always had kind of lingering injuries. Aaron Jones is 30. I do like Jordan Mason to kind of bridge the gap, but he's not a receiving running back that we've seen so far. A little here and there, but he is more kind of like a downhill runner. At least that's what we saw in San Francisco.
Yeah.
So I think they take a huge step back for those reasons. Rookie quarterback, basically. Weapons are questionable, and the defense I think will probably still be pretty good, but I think the division got better in some ways.
And they say the same or step back in a few ways.
Correct. So right. I think they're out.
And the Lions missed the playoffs.
Yes.
Well, you want to extrapolate on that?
So I brought up Nick Wright earlier, and this is also I have the receipts because I've been posting about it on Facebook, and all our Lion-loving friends have heard this diatribe from me a dozen times over. So for them, this is nothing new. But Dan Campbell is a fantastic culture-building head coach. He was a tight end. He did play for the Giants for whatever. I don't know how many
Huge culture guy. Rah, love it. Players coach,
and
got it.
I thought I was really big on the Lions 3 years ago when they missed the playoffs, but they played the Packers in the season finale, and the Packers were winning in, and everyone's like, oh, well, they're just going to smoke the Lions. You know, their playoff hopes are on the line here, and Aaron Rodgers we found out shortly after was his last season in Green Bay. But I bet some money on that game, and I won about $900 on the Lions. And I was talking shit to some of our mutual Packer friends. I liked where they were going, and they've drafted extremely well. And Dan Campbell has flipped the mentality of that team around, where they're now believing that we are good. We're not a joke. Detroit can play football. We're not just, the walking mat for everybody. However, for people that don't know, the head coach typically doesn't call the plays. What the head coach does is he decides what the team is going to do. Coin flips, what side of the field they're going to take. Are they going to go for 2 or kick an extra point? Are they going to go for it on 4th down? Timeout, time management. They control those things, and the coordinators are there to pick whatever play that fits the best way that they're going to accomplish their goal there. And the Lions have had arguably the best offensive coordinator in the league for the past 2 or 3 years. He's not there anymore.
He's gone.
And the guy who replaced him, a guy named John Morton, not Tory Horton, but John Morton.
No relation. He could not come from greatness.
He's like a journeyman kind of passed around assistant like position coach. And the only time he was ever given an OC job was for like the 2017 Jets. The 2017 Jets. The 2017 Jets. And people, and I've argued with people on Facebook, Lions fans, who are telling me that John Morton mentored Ben Johnson. And that's just ludicrous.
That's crazy.
There's no way. So I have had a problem with Dan Campbell's decision making. And my only issue, and people think I'm a hater, or I have had issues with the segment of Lions fans who refuse to criticize Dan Campbell in any way, because I believe this. People, I'm not lying when I tell when I'm in through the course of this show. You're going to hear me say a lot of crazy shit, and I actually believe it. I believe what I'm saying. I believe Dan Campbell cost them a Super Bowl. Okay, 2 years ago in the NFC champion, that year they beat the Kansas City Chiefs week 1. Okay, they didn't have Chris Jones. That was named Chris Jones.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have him. He was holding out contract issues, and that losing that game was probably what got him paid, because they realized, hey, we need this guy. But I did a little rundown of that NFC title game. The Lions go into halftime up 24-7. They're up 3 scores. First drive, third quarter, they drive to San Fran 28. So at 15 yards for a field goal, you're looking at about 43. And I believe their kicker hadn't missed a kick since he got to, because that was the big, like, Jake, what's his name? He hadn't missed a kick, and people has a big story.
Jake the Make. Yep.
So you have this kicker that hasn't missed. 43 yards is a chip shot these days. He goes for it on 4th and 2, doesn't get it. Momentum
switch.
49ers score in 5 plays. Now it's 24-14 or whatever, 24-17, because I think they started the third quarter, got a field goal. Lions first drive, turnover on downs. 49ers score, kickoff, first play, next drive, Gibbs fumbles. Touchdown, 49ers. Now it's 24-24. 49ers kick a field goal, next drive, Lions get ball to 49ers 30. 45-yard field goal to tie, because now they're down 27-24. Instead of tying the game with a 45-yard field goal, goes for it, turnover on downs, 49ers go score. Now you're down 2 scores. You went from being up 3 to down 2. And if you just kick that field goal instead of going for it, you go back up 3, and that's big. And you still have the momentum. You just scored. You're kicking off. They have to respond, but you turn the ball over, and now they think they have a chance. But so it just kills me. And nobody, well, not I say nobody. Some people did criticize him for that, but the ones that don't just think there's nothing bad you can say about Dan Campbell. And for me, that was when I started to sour on them as a fan base, because it's like, if you're not going to just be honest about what happened there, then you're not living in the same reality that I'm living in. and you can't be reached. I don't know. There it reminds me of, there's people in fantasy who would rather have Lions players on their team and be bad than have a good team if there's no Lions players on it.
I don't know if I would go as far as saying that Dan Campbell is the reason they did not get to the Super Bowl, right? That's a hot take, and I don't want to get crucified. However,
how's that a hot take?
I guess
You're up
it's
three.
not.
You're up 3 scores.
Agreed.
2 turnovers on downs altered the game to where now you're down 2 scores.
So we don't have a lot of
field goal. Take the points.
As Dan Campbell's a culture coach. He's a players coach. He's rah-rah, right? I can't help but notice I'm an Eagles fan, and a lot of people, the thing is that what does Sirianni do, right? And we always say he's a culture coach, he's a player coach, blah, 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 and he lets the coordinators do what they have to do. When we don't have good coordinators, we are not a good team. I've seen that happens, right? When Brian Johnson was our OC or whatnot, we did nothing, very vanilla offense, super stacked team, nothing happened. We somehow accidentally got into the playoffs, and then we got bounced in the wild card by the Buccaneers, and we deserved it. And then we cleaned house with coordinators, Matt Patricia, all this kind of weird stuff, right? Sean to say, and then we got coordinators, and it was the same exact team, and then we win the Super Bowl. I think, like, if we talk about it right now, and like at the end of the season, whatever happens, and Lions miss the playoffs, and people are like, how did that happen? Because the 2 people telling the literal players what to do left. Like, the people literally telling Ben Johnson is telling the offensive players what you're going to do in order to play football, and he's no longer in the building. Like, the Lions, like they're like it's a regression is coming, and it's going to be really fun to see watch in real time.
But the Lions fans are not going to admit that. They're not going to admit that there was a mistake made, or it'll come down to somebody got hurt. Because the other thing that was killing me all last year was, especially during like home Lions broadcasts and stuff, the number of times they would bring up how injured the defense was, like, and so Ragnow retired. I guarantee you, here's maybe a hot take. Ragnow retired because he started to see what was going on with John Morton and Dan Campbell and said, "I'm outie. See ya." But
the level of hate you have for John Morton, this is going to be really, really fun to keep our thumb on the pulse of, and we don't need to belabor it. So you're saying I do like the Packers. I really like the Packers, actually. I think Jordan loves the gamer. I think they're super, super young. I think they're going to figure it out. I don't think JJ McCarthy is going to be very good in the league. Again, as a Michigan fan, when you're in the national championship and the head coach does not trust the quarterback to push the ball down the field, that's worrisome. I understand he did exactly what he had to do to win, lean on a strong run game, but that does throw suspect, right? But also,
yeah,
I do think
he would throw it like maybe 10 or 12 times a game.
Exactly. Very, very low.
But we would win by 30, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were really good at
too.
And we're
going to hear about that later today.
We are going to hear about that. I'm already ready for, if I hear the word asterisk one more time, I'm going to lose my fucking gourd. I think, I actually think I agree with you here. And I am excited to see, I think the Bears just look like they'd be good. I don't know if it's like the coloring. I don't know if it's the jerseys or whatnot. The Bears just look like they're going to be good. And Rome Odunze is one of the coolest names in the league. This is going to be
this is Caleb Johnson's or Caleb Williams' second year, and he's already. This is it, bro. Because you have a stacked team. They put everything around you. They gave you the genius coordinator, quarterback guru who makes Jared Goff look like an MVP.
They're doing like stumble plays and shit. They're doing like end arounds. Like yes,
So
you
he
got the prince that
has
was
to.
promised. You got to
He
deliver.
has to do something. So I mean, so yeah, that's where I'm at.
So that's your playoff picture.
Packers, Bears,
Eagles,
and the shit that I said. Eagles, Falcons, Niners,
49ers.
Hawks, and Rams.
Damn. We'll put it
Who
up. We'll
goes
put
to?
it up.
Yeah, so you're the everything guy.
Is an NFC team? We're wrapping this up here shortly because we got a lifetime to talk about it. Is the NFC or the AFC going to win the Super Bowl this year?
AFC.
Who? Or no. That's spoilers. We're not even going to talk about it because you have a strong opinion, and I want to be able to hear that.
I don't really have a strong opinion about the AFC.
You have a strong opinion about everything,
but it's going to be
and
one of
I
three.
get to,
it's going to be one of three teams.
I get to see you in real the culture up there because Anthony Richardson's going to deliver us from evil, but that's next episode. You do have a strong opinion. You say you don't have a strong opinion, but I like to watch it unfold in real time. You have developed strong opinions here in real time. Torrey Horton, John Morton, whatever the fuck we're talking about. It's very, very funny. Stem cells.
But that's not crazy. Stem cells have fixed everything they've touched.
But I don't want my running back. That's fine. We don't have to belabor it. That's the NFC playoff picture right there, Zach.
Are we going to say who we'd like for NFC champion?
NFC champion? You go. Who do you like for NFC champion?
I don't know. I didn't think that far.
I think barring any sort of disaster, I do think the Philadelphia Eagles probably have the best chance to repeat.
Yeah, I mean,
I hate the Eagles. Like, yes, they're my team, but I hate saying good things about. Talk to anybody in my life. I hate talking about the Eagles because
I fucking hate the Eagles, but they are really good. They are really good. And you know what's even crazier is I was looking at like highest paid defenses.
And where are we?
Not where you would expect them to be.
Exactly.
But the Giants were like number 2.
Because they have the best
in the top 3 or 4. But like for the Eagles to be that young on defense, the offense is, AJ Brown and Saquon, little getting up there in age, Goddard.
Devontae Smith.
I mean, he's already like a 6 or 7 year vet now, right? After the Eagles and Cowboys colluded to keep him away from the Giants. But so yeah, I'll say Eagles.
Devontae Smith is a top 5 talented wide receiver in the league, and any other team, he's their number 1 wide receiver in the vast majority of teams. So I love a Slim Reaper. So build like Jane Daniels. So
awesome. Are we doing a little sign off?
We're doing a sign off here. This is we could have kept it. We actually had to put a logical ceiling on ourselves. Remember when you said, "Hey, are we even going to be able to talk for?" I said 40 minutes, and you said, "I don't know if we're going to be able to banter." And then
cut some of it out.
I would never. And the stem
cut
cells,
out the parts where I stumble and stuff.
I would never. That's part of your. It's endearing. It's endearing. That's it. That's the very, very first. This is NFC completely accurate predictions. Nothing will go wrong. We learned a lot today. We learned about the Lions offensive coordinator. We learned about stem cell research. And Matt Stafford will never be able to walk again. Tune in next week to where we bring all the science and all the facts and everything to the AFC picture. This will be up in just a couple days because the season's coming, Zach. The season is coming.
We need to do like at least 1 or 2 more before it starts.
Because we need to get we need the receipts. We need to get all of this. We need to get this out in the universe. So when it happens 100%, people are like, they knew it.
Especially when we start doing like I think we should do like a weekly, like our top 5 bets. Because if in a magical world where everything aligns properly and one of us manages to be like a 70% accuracy better, do you know how big that is? That's insane. Anyways, I'm Zach Ketchum, reminding you guys, never date a tennis player. Love means nothing to him.
So good. We end there.